There's his super awesome first player token. I think against him this time, I decided to go for the same opening as I did the other game with the since I didn't have to worry about illusion dice. I went open memories for the owl hammer knight, um, chain of violinist, and expand energy. I was really worried about Tim's deck. I thought I was just gonna lose right here. Um, but yeah, I think the first game that I played against him, I went for expand energy first, which after I played more, uh, I mean, I'm so used to playing against illusion that I automatically just go first turn expand energy. But now that I've played more and more against like other decks, um, I definitely realized that going first turn expand isn't really all that great. So I went for a an owl first. I think I went ahead and put the owl out too. With Aradel being at 16 and me being at 19, I wasn't really too worried about damage as well from yeah. So yeah, the first game he did the exact same thing. He went first turn bear, second turn attack with bear. Um, I decided to take the damage because I knew that there were other units that would come up, specifically the jaguar, and I knew he hadn't meditated yet. So um, I mean, he only meditated for the bear. So I was almost expecting like some sort of meditate to hold off the jaguar play. And there's the jaguar, summon jaguar. Um, he discards his memory theft. Both games he didn't use his memory theft against me. I think he figured, it was. I think he figured it was like very situational anyway. And I also think the only reason why he had the memory theft is just to predict or to look out for the ice trap. What really helped him the first time we played was he got out two. He was able to get out two chain of protections against me, and that I think that really hurt me. Um, the change psyche first five was really interesting. Like I didn't really expect that. But at the same time, I also wasn't really too worried about it. I mean, it did mean that my Hammer Knight wouldn't get to swing. Um, there's the lucky frog, and I think I killed the jaguar too. Oh, I didn't start open memories against him. I thought I started. For some reason, I thought I started open memories. Um, okay. Actually, I think that worked out for me in the end. Um, because I wanted to make sure that he couldn't. Yeah, I wanted to make sure that he couldn't actually attack with his Gilder, or have a harder time attacking too. He was thinking to himself whether he should summon the Gilder now or pass. And if he had passed, I likely would have just not bothered playing the Gilder or the Orchid Dove, but he ended up putting the Gilder out, putting a wound on my owl, and so that allowed me to actually bring the dove out. And of course, I learned my lesson and chose not to attack while there was a Gilder out. So Yeah, against Tim the first during the first tournament, I think I swung both of my orchid doves into his gilder. So that was really stupid of me. At one point during the match, Nick or not Nick, Tim did say every single round he was just gonna keep killing off the Finch. He was, yeah. I think he specifically saved his water blast just for the Finch. Like right there, he could have killed off my Hammer Knight, but oh wait, I did I start that? No, he started. Yeah, he started. So he could have. You can see how nervous Tim was. This was a really intense game, and it was definitely something. It was definitely a game that I was very worried about going into the top eight. Yeah, I'm shaking myself too. So thinking back to it now, I feel like I should have gone. I almost feel like I should have gone pure stall. Um, Maybe kept the Hammer Knight, but since I know that he didn't have any illusion dice, I could have opted for the open memories rather than the Orchid Dove. Brought out multiple owls and just tried to memory drain my way to victory. Those bears would have definitely gotten too big to handle or too much to handle. Ah, the chat's not up. Shoot. It does kind of get in the way. There we go. I think you can still see the chat a little bit. All right. I think getting the second Three-Eyed Owl book was the reason why I won. Because it was a very long game. Let's see, I have this video is at 30 minutes long, and then I've got the second video that's at 10 minutes plus another 10 minutes, so that would have been about 50 minutes. A 50 or 55-minute game. That was a big surprise. Seeing the particle shield, like him particle shielding the sympathy pain was really really good, and he still has a living bear, so I'm rolling powers all day with the expand energy. I think that's probably what I should have done, was use my expand more during the match against Matt, because I guess for some reason I can roll power every single time I use expand energy, but not when I'm just rolling regularly. The way I use my Hammer Knight, so I like using it if I can't get an open swing, I just have it clear stuff. And that's its whole purpose, is to I position it so that it can take out at least 2 units, or at least a unit. But two, would be the most preferable because I can aftershock and then um, do I use my molten gold? I know I have a molten gold in my hand, but I think I end up opting for the double ping instead with my um, frog dice. Oh, and I also feel like I want to put out an owl without it getting gazed. He meditates from his hand to avoid the EV ping, which once again that's part of the reason why I really like the Enchanted Violinist, is because it allows for different play. It forces your opponent to play differently. Um, and yes, I do realize that that was the whole reason why Papa Pratt really likes Hypnotize, and the reason why I didn't really care for it. But um, I will say that uh, a lot of these are the more I think about it, we all know Papa Pratt is correct. So my Hammer Knight goes down to the Gilder, um, but I was able to take out the Jaguar, and that was really important to me. Oh, Papa Pratt, I said that you were right about Hypnotize. It forces people to play differently, but it also sacrifices a spellboard slot, which I mean, a Chain of Violinist does sacrifice a battlefield slot, but I feel like her use is much more wide than Hypnotize. But yeah, you are correct about Hypnotize. It forces people to play differently. It forces people to make different decisions than what they originally were going to. So I mean, to be honest, you are right about a lot. So, so once again, at this point, I am thinking to myself, I should not have started Orchid Dove. I feel like Orchid Dove was a really bad decision to put in my first five. I should have gone for the double owl and just started pressuring and going for the long stall game right off the bat. Um, I mean, the fact that he has two Gilder books means that the moment an Orchid Dove comes out, it's just gonna die. So there's really no reason to have it. And I think he realizes this at this point. Like he wanted to get rid of my owls as much as he could, because he took back his "I'm going to kill off all your finches" statement. It's still a really close game, and I feel like it's he could win at any point, just because his battlefield, he can fill up his battlefield so much more than I could. Um, and then still have, two more slots to overrun me every single round. But I believe I also lost all of my Orchid Dove books. I think in my discard pile there's two Orchid books that I was hoping to have by round two, but I didn't. Which once again, and like it meant I probably should have just not bothered with the Orchid Dove to begin with. And I bring out my Glowfinch. Because Glowfinch OP. I think he was waiting for a side action because I used my expand energy. I think I accidentally put out the owl, thinking that it was my turn again, and then that's when yeah, there we go. And I believe he was waiting because he didn't want to. He wanted to use his. He wanted to bring out a Gilder. Oh, here we go. All right, next video. That was the 30 minutes for that one. Okay. So he was trying to bring out. He wanted to bring out his Gilder, and the fact that I had the Orchid Dove. Well, I guess that also kind of helped too, because since I had the Dove out, he wanted to wait to bring out that Gilder. I think he was expecting me to put a Gilder out, so he decided, or a Dove out. Um, though I almost feel like he should have just gone for the attack. Oh, you know what else it was? I also had a. He knew I had a sympathy pain in my hand. That's right. Because I think I have a sympathy pain, I think I have molten gold, and a final cry. So I'm just going at it, discarding everything that he is holding in his hand. He passes, I bring out the Hammer Knight, and he decides, or he's thinking about it. Yeah, he decides to gaze it. Um, I think I was waiting for an opportunity. That's what I was doing. Was trying to wait for an opening where I could bring out the Hammer Knight and not have it gazed. Um, but there was no way that I could do that. And I had, I had so many cards in my hand that um, had to be played. There's the sympathy pain. What did I end up directing it to? I think it was at him directly. At, yep. This match is about to end, and I don't remember how I ended it. But I was holding a lot of. I had a lot of burn. So that was really no problem. I don't think I saw any of my anguishes either. And next round I could swing for quite a bit as well. He's attacking. I think he's attacking with both his bear and his gilder, and um, I had to decide whether or not I wanted to let my violinist go. I I feel like it would have been better off just letting the violinist go, but it's likely at the same time I'm just super attached to it. uh, my nature rolls were on point this game. You're right, Eric. I think that's what he wanted to do. Take out the Hammer Knight. Um, so of course, first thing first thing I do is bring out my Finch. At this point, I almost feel like it's the coward's play. It's like, or like Leo is like this huge coward. Like, you can't touch me as long as I have my Finch. I'm bringing it out. And then once you get rid of the Finch, he's just like, "Oh, I'm so scared." And he goes and hides behind a corner or something. I mean, seriously, that Finch does so much work for him. Yeah, that's right. Security blanket. There's that water blast. You know what? That's right. I actually didn't. I didn't even realize that. Um, Wait, why? And then that's where it ends. Let me just bring up the last scene. Uh, okay. So I don't remember what was in my hand, and I don't. I think I might have had an anguish. Um, and maybe molten gold. I think rolling the three frogs. I was really excited because I didn't have to meditate. Um,